Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be talking about some game dev mistakes which beginners make, which even I made those mistakes when I was a beginner, and those mistakes still cost me a lot. I even made some mistakes in my current project, Zombo Survivor, and I wish I didn't made them. I could have made this project a little bit more organized. So let's get into it. So the first thing that you should do is you should organize all your assets, such as you should create dedicated folders, such as I have folders for allies, ally data, animation, controllers. This is where I store all of my controllers and some editor tools. There are some folders for enemy buildings, which is where I keep all the data. And here are all the enemies which are prefix. I still have to organize some other stuff which I will do later. And here is the new input, which in things like input are in here particles and physics materials, here player buildings and other, and this is where all the general prefabs are here, such as items, weapons, etc. And I also have an other folder for UI prefabs. This is where I store all the UI prefabs, such as buttons, joystick, and player buttons, etc. And this is where I store scripts. So the first and main thing is you should always organize your stuff, because it makes things much easier to find. Otherwise, it would be a complete total mess, and the bigger your project gets, the more harder it will be to find stuff related scripts. And the second thing is that you should break down your code. Like, you should not make a single big script that should hold all the logic. Like, you do want to create a large script for that can handle every thing, but I recommend you not do that. Instead, you should break down your code into different scripts, such as you should create a script for movement, a script for attacking, and all the other functions. This is the mistake I made in this project. I just went ahead with this giant script, and as you can see, it's so large. There are so many fields. It has functions for attacking, movement, speed, here, health, etc. Health, and flipping, and many other things. So I learned from my mistake, and then I did the rest of the logic into other separate scripts, such as I made some more scripts in here. This is the for managing allies, and for some catching components. This is some catching components. Here are the perform here this is basically just a script which I use to optimize frame rate. So basically, what it does is just basically stops particles, like optimize them a bit when the game is lagging. Here is an object indicator manager which just displays indicators and objectives. Here are more scripts, as you can see. So basically, uh, I broke this down into smaller scripts, each doing their specific function in here. That's why you should always break down your code. Otherwise, you would get a large mess like this, which I made in here. As you can see, this is a complete script. This script at least is I think 3000 to 4000 lines, maybe at least 3000 lines. Yes, almost 3000 lines. It's almost 3000 lines long, and it's much harder to debug the longer it gets, because I have to scroll in here, and there are so many functions. It's hard to navigate in that script. That's why you should always have separate scripts. Now the third main thing is that you should create reusable code, the code that you can reuse for pretty much the entire project. Such as you can create a single health script that can be attached to the player and any enemy's board, and then for every damageable object, and then you can use that. You can simply just use that for everything that needs health. Otherwise there might be a mess like that. For example, if you have a ton of different enemies scripts, you can see here. you will have to like create if statement while damaging them, which can get a little bit messier, as you can see in here. And it also gets harder to keep track of functions, because you don't know which script does as which thing. And the most of the time what you do is create a new logic in the existing script, or just create a new script for that. Even though there is a script that can handle that, that can handle that, but as you can see, there are some scripts that are complete garbage, or I didn't pay any attention to them, but they can handle other scenarios well. Such as this boss script, it has all the functions for attacking, etc. And attacking, etc. This is a boss attack script. Another script specifically for bosses. And there are some other more scripts related to attack. There are scripts which have functions to attack, but I don't use them, because I have and have more scripts which also have the functions to attack, such as this is script. As you can see in here, they also have the functions to attack, the enemy attack and enemy attack manager. They also have functions that can handle attacking, such as here. So when I need to attack, I can simply call these functions from the animation using the animation event, and that will spawn a project tiles, or do the other logic. And here I have the flying attack, all the functions here which handle these things. And the fourth point is that you should always plan things before you go in the and code it. At least plan a bit of the stuff, so you get the general idea on how to do the thing. Because if you basically dive into the code without having any idea on how the things are gonna work, you will just create a mess basically. Ali, cause you need to know the logic at least. What will the variables look like, what are all the variables, how will the system work, and how will the entire script execute. Let's say I am making a AI script for the enemies. I first need to determine what all the functions in the script has, such as the script will have a single move function, which will move for a targets, and a bool, whether the ally should move on the x-axis or the y-axis, or both. If the bool, so basically you can see, based on the bool, the ally the object can move on the x-axis or y-axis, or both of the axes. All we can just restrict its movement to one particular axis. Then we have a find closest enemy, which just basically finds and returns our enemy transform. It gets an array of or collider array of all the enemies, and returns a transform, and returns the nearest transform. And we have an idle function, which is basically idles the enemies. So you have to plan things better. Your script should have an idle function, or other functions like that. Should you put all the logic in one function, or break it down into smaller pieces? Usually it's better to break it down into into smaller functions doing their specific job. And then you can just use if statements to call those functions, or just call other functions directly into other functions, which will make the code much cleaner. Now the fifth and last mistake many beginners does is you should use already third party plugins. If there is a third party plugin, or a model, or any R that is already made and is use and is free for commercial use, you should use that, cause it can save you a lot of time. There are many good assets and R on the internet, even on itch.io, even in Unity Asset Store. There are many useful free and paid third party assets that can help you a lot, and save you a lot of time for building your game. So that's it for today's video. If you like the video, if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next devlog. Goodbye.